Okay, let's try this again. So, still getting errors no matter what the fuck I try and do. So, this is take 2 of the fucking live stream. Tried one before, but the sound wasn't coming through. Don't know what the fuck was happening there. Hoping I fixed it up now. This is the video I've been editing for the past week and a half now, and it's crashed on me about 4 or 5 times. It's a 3-hour long interview, and I've been trying to take it down to half an hour to make it, viewable for everyone I know. But it's crashed 5 times on me, twice now, 3 times including today. It has erased data, and I've had to start from scratch and re-clip it and re-edit it. And today, this morning when it happened, I just got so fucking fed up, walked away from it. I've given up on it. I'm not going to do it anymore. I might do another one when it comes out, but as far as this one goes, I fucking quit on it. It's fucking bullshit. I'm very much over it crashing. So what I've decided to do instead, just do a live stream of the video playing. I'm just going to play one part from it, the most important part, which is where Lex Friedman and Eric Weinstein are talking about the importance that Joe is playing in the society right now. So if you don't know who Eric Weinstein is, he has created a theory of everything. One of only 2 people to do it since Einstein. They're both still alive. One of them lives in Maui at the moment. He fucking surfs big waves. Fucking incredible. Eric is the other one. So very, very fucking intelligent. The other guy, Lex Friedman, graduated from MIT, still works there, I believe, and he is trying to currently, right now as we speak, build AI self-driving cars. So both these people are very fucking intelligent, and they're talking about Joe Rogan because they know him, they're his friend. They're talking about the impact that he is now having on society. So I thought this would be a pretty cool thing to show you guys. Probably a very important thing because they make a few predictions here that I think we all should listen to. So yeah, bit of a summary there. Sorry for the long intro, but let's see if it works this time. If we get audio issues again, I am sorry. I don't know what the fuck is going on, but let's give it a go again.
Like, I used to have this thing, if it rhymes, things that rhyme are more true. Yeah. But like, in general, if something starts at 1, 2, 3, 4, I don't want to hear what the rest of your sentence is.
Yeah. But I feel like the responsibility that you carry, that I carry, this is where Joe Rogan generally removes himself from being, I'm just a comedian. This idea of I'm just a comedian.
They all do that.
But at this moment in history...
Very true. Very true.
Like
so people like George Carlin, I still can't remember the other guy's name. I went to say it before as well, but I fucking forgot it. I still can't remember it. It's going to piss me off a heap. It's, oh, God damn it. Bill Hicks. So George Carlin, Bill Hicks, this is related to them straight away. They both tell the truth. And, well, we know what happened to Bill. But yeah, it's very true. Like, these are the comedians are the truth tellers of our generation. That's what they are. They get out there and they tell the truth. That's why it resonates with us so much, because that's what's actually fucking going on, And that's why we listen to them when they talk, and it's very fucking true. And that's what Joe is now. Joe is this massive powerhouse of influence, and he's a fucking comedian at the same time. It's ridiculous. It's awesome, ridiculous.
Literally can pivot on the words of a tattooed, ripped 50-year-old, comedian. And I think the same is
cage fighter, commentator, kickboxer, MMA commentator, jiu-jitsu, fuck. What is he? What is he really?
true with you.
Okay, well, I'm
That's very true.
And I care. Speaking of lyrics, there are many here among us who feel that life is but a joke. That's not us. The hour is getting late. That's not us. In the song, the Joker and the thief are on opposite sides of Jesus, having this conversation over Jesus. You and I, we've been through that. That's not our fate. That's somebody else's fate to throw spitballs at the internet. That's not your fate. You're an earnest guy. You're filled with love. You're getting the most amazing podcast guests. You're
But you can win
broadcasting
over the internet. This is the point I'm trying to make. That you're saying I'm just a grandpa. I don't
No,
get the internet.
no, I'm telling you, you're going to get bigger, and then you're going to get cut down. You're going to keep ascending for a while, Lex.
And then you're saying
Always
actually
happens.
there's
I'm telling you, I watched the same process. People get up to a certain level, and one of the things that's going on, in my opinion, with Joe Rogan, is that when Joe Rogan starts to talk about his misgivings about Joe Biden, in a way that you find at any bar in America, about cognitive decline, and a 77-year-old who's about to be 78, I believe in November.
That's
I've
nuts.
never had anything remotely as insane as a 78-year-old person slated to win the White House.
with that idea.
What is the oldest, actually?
Communicated.
Look it up.
Something is about the disc concept you talked about. The system naturally
Some
starts
bad
to-
thing happens to Joe or one of Joe's close associates. The ability to destroy people who become inconvenient has been documented. This is what we have done in the past. Whether we are doing it now, we don't know, because we are not doing this church committee 2. In order to know whether or not you are currently destroying American citizens, as we did in the past, and as we have documented.
Okay, so according to this little site here, Reagan is the oldest. He was 77 and 349 days old. Oh no, in his second term. So not going into it. That was when he was ending his term. Holy shit. So, yeah. Pretty fucking crazy. And then, what's it say about Trump? 70 when he went in. Fuck, that's so old. That's so fucking old.
As we found out in 1976, the federal government destroyed Americans who had political beliefs that the government didn't want to continue. And I don't know whether you are grasping that. One interpretation of why Jon Stewart and why Joe Rogan and why Bill Maher, all these people, to some extent hide behind, it's a joke.
It's a safety.
Because they're trying to find a protected class.
Mm-hmm.
Is there some place I can stand and speak the truth which does not result in my being garbage collected?
Interesting. I guess you're right. My intuition is you can stand. As you gain more power, you can stand.
There's a
your
fight
words
over
without
Joe
a joke.
Rogan right now. I mean, I've talked about it.
I think we should also just take a moment to appreciate the fucking balls that it takes for Eric, in the power that he is in the position that he is in right now, to come out and openly talk about this kind of stuff. Because this results in careers dying. And he is still doing it regardless. That fucking takes courage. And that is very impressive. And there is no reason that he should be doing this. And yet he's doing it anyway. Okay, that is fucking impressive. And I think we should all just take a moment to appreciate how rare that is. And how thankful we all are that he is actually doing that. Because there is not many fucking people coming out in the position that he is in speaking about this at all. In fact, at this present time, he is the only one I know of that is doing it. So that's fucking ballsy, and that takes fucking guts, real guts. To no payoff for him either. He's not getting anything out of it, which is, yeah, that's fucking brave.
A few years now. People did not understand how big that program was. People didn't understand long-form podcasting. I was derided by people who I think of as being very shrewd for believing in these podcasts.
It's so true. It's so true though. Like even I thought they were going to fail. Everyone I knew thought they were going to fail. No one understood it. Like when podcasts first came out, it's like, what the fuck is that? Who's going to listen for 3 fucking hours? No one called it. No one called it. No one. There's fucking bring me somebody who thought it was going to succeed. Nobody. No fucking way. And yet here it is. You know, taken over. At the same time, we got TikTok, which is what, fucking 7 seconds or some bullshit. At the same time, we've degraded to a 7-second fucking clip. We have also, at the same time, got 3, 4 hour, 5 hour, 6 hour long fucking clips of people talking. I mean, that's fucking brilliant. That is brilliant. And makes me so happy that that's actually fucking taken place. It's inspiring, really.
And most of the people who derided me have said, wow, did I not get things?
I'll
It's
admit
like
to that.
If you started to propose, you wanted to do The Sopranos in the era of 30-minute sitcoms. You don't get it, man. The American people, they're not interested in these long plot storylines. That's your weird thing? Nobody cares, dude.
Wow, yeah, how
Everybody's
wrong they were.
Short, fast, memorable. And like, okay, so if you do that, you totally miss the opportunity. And, the savvy people used to say, kid, let me tell you, nobody ever lost a dime underestimating the intelligence of the American people. Well, that was totally wrong, because they didn't calculate opportunity cost. I have been talking about the problem of Joe for a long time. The problem is that when the system wakes up, they're going to want to control it.
And
Yeah.
they come up with new different mechanisms of doing that. I guess one interesting one is cancel culture.
Well, look at the number of people around Joe who they've come after since they realized that Joe was really big. Joey Diaz, Brian Callen.
I don't know so much about them.
Crystalia.
I mean,
Now, I'm not saying that
I feel
those are all related, but I do notice that there
yeah, I don't know if you could say that they're all connected or they're all linked. I mean, they have all been attacked recently. I wouldn't say that's because of Joe's influence. I mean, yeah, the argument could be made. The argument could be made. I don't know which side is right to it though. But I think Crystalia is a bit of a stretch. I think he kind of did that to himself. Callen, I don't know what happened to Callen. I thought he was fine. I didn't know anything was going on with that motherfucker. And Joey Diaz, I mean, like Joey Diaz has been in trouble since he was fucking born, man. Like, what a fucking lie. He's literally, on his podcast, he's literally had on the person he has kidnapped and gone to jail for. He has had that person on his fucking podcast and told him on the podcast that he fucking loves him. I mean, Joey is a character unlike anyone else on this fucking planet. Okay, if he ever gets banned or taken off or character assassinated, I mean, I don't even know if he can get a character assassinated now because he's almost reached the same level as Joe, where everyone just knows who he is already. He's a crazy motherfucker, but you know that inside that he's a good person. Without a doubt, he's a good person. And if probably the funniest person on planet Earth right now. I mean, holy fuck, that dude is next level. That dude is something else. And he's not even gone, really. He's just started something new back in New York or Jersey or wherever the fuck he's moved back to. So I don't think we'll be seeing the last of him. And Carlin, I don't know anything was going on with him. Callan, whatever the fuck. I don't know anything was going on with him either, but yeah, I mean, they will. Eric is still right though. They're still going to come after him because he's going against the norm. He's going against what is the establishment. So that can't not, trigger the establishment to come after him. He'd been, you're playing a dangerous game. It's going to be retaliation. This is a game where people involved literally have body count lists. Okay. They are playing a very, very serious fucking game right now. They're playing for keeps. And I don't give a fuck who gets in the way. They will take out whoever. It doesn't matter.
At least correlations between when Joe says something and when something bad happens in Joe's universe. It's easier for me to believe that that's happening.
It's a valid argument.
Around Joe himself. Yeah. But I'm worried about my friend. Yeah. And I don't necessarily want to push him towards being more if he doesn't want it. Because I don't want to conscript people. He's got a great life, he's got a great situation, he's done a huge service. Thank God. Do you know, like, how much do I owe Joe just for what he's done for you? To say nothing of what he's done for me or for Brett or for Sam or any of these people. And, I'd like to think that we all try to give back. But I'm worried about Joe. He's not worried.
One of the inspiring things about Joe is, he's in this war alone, and the way he fights the war is by just enjoying life.
Well, that's his thing. As long as he
cooking.
stays close to things that he loves and being, one of the things, he's honest about his drug use. He loves to hunt. So he does a certain amount of like semi-vice signaling up front.
Mm.
And then you just also know him. This is why every time they try to take him down, you use the N-word, Like, unfortunately, everybody knows who Joe is.
Yeah.
And he doesn't act as if he went to a fancy finishing school.
Mm.
Right? That's not his energy. The fact that you got some super smart guy who always pretends to be a meathead, just like, like, hey, I'm a comedian. It's like all these defenses and disguises. Okay, you got this super smart guy who he's admitted to most of the things that, you can take him down for. And because everybody's been effectively in his den or his basement, think about that studio as his basement. People have hung out with Joe so many hours that you can't tell them something about Joe where they're going to say, wow, I'm going to believe the New York Times and not the hundreds of hours I've spent on the Joe Rogan.
But the cool thing is that this is what inspires me, is that the way he's waging war against the system is just by being a good person and talking enough hours in a week where that message like bleeds throughout the words, like, in the gaps between. And that's so inspiring to me, that the good people can win by just being good. And
he's kind and he's tough, and he's no pushover.
No.
I always worry a little bit when I sit down in that chair.
You still get scared that he'll call you on some kind of bullshit that you weren't even aware of?
No, the first time I was on the show, the energy wasn't great between us. And it was in a sober October situation. So I think I hadn't understood that, and maybe our egos got a little bit off. I don't know. I mean, I was having fun, but maybe it was just too complicated life.
Yeah, I've seen their first podcast. I didn't think it was bad at all. So I don't know. Like, this is news to me. Like, before watching this, I would not have assumed that. I thought it went pretty fucking well. I mean, Eric's at a completely different level to the level that Joe's at. So I mean, they're definitely going to have differences in their conversations. I mean, that's just the way it is. Yeah, I didn't get that vibe at all. I thought it was a fucking awesome podcast.
One was probably, that made me a little nervous for the future. But then, Joe and I have become friends, although sometimes we have miscommunications. Like on Yom Kippur, I texted him and I said, Joe, I want to apologize for ways I've let you down as a friend and haven't been there for you, and appreciate everything you've done for me. Like, I get this text back. What the fuck is your problem? You're great, dude. I don't know what bad place you're in, but cheer up. It's like, Joe, don't you have any Jews in your life to apologize for what they've done? He was just like, dude, have you lost your mind? What the hell's gotten into you?
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think about the Spotify thing?
What about it? Ask me a question.
I love Eric's honesty about it, eh? It's like, that's not actually a question. How about you actually put forward a question here? Brilliant.
As opposed to being just a comedian with a podcast, he now is just a comedian with a podcast who stepped like in the middle of the center of cancel culture, which is like, I know Spotify is in Sweden, but they represent Silicon Valley. They represent the very kind of structures. They contain and represent the kind of structures that threaten to destroy the Elons of the world. And he just like stepped, like, with his Alex Jones and his Joey Diaz, just strolled right into the middle of it.
I think it's awesome.
But do you think he's strong enough to?
Well,
I don't know. I mean, I don't even know the right way to ask this, but is he strong enough to persevere?
It's a bit interesting. It's like when a lion decides, wow, that honey badger looks tasty. I'm going to swallow it whole. See what happens.
Because I talked to him offline. He really seems to be willing to give away the $100 million, which gives him so much power.
Oh, I don't.
It's a powerful thing to be able to say, I don't. Yeah, to the honey badger. He just strolls in, but he's willing to walk away from anything in this.
Well, he's going to walk out the other side of the line. I don't think he's going to go out the way he came in.
Yeah.
Well, you know what it is?
Best.
It's Tommy Lee Jones entering the bug.
This is like a giant alien. He just walks into it.
He just He gets swallowed by the bug and he blasts out from the inside.
Yeah.
I have it as Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah.
But
That's
anyway,
Joe Rogan to you.
yeah, is that my feeling is that Spotify doesn't understand what they're messing with. I could be wrong, but I'm not.
No, you're right.
I'm right. Because Joe doesn't need anything, man. I mean, this is the weird thing about him. It's like, I'm
Yeah.
sure that he loves all his toys, whatever, blah, blah, blah.
For sure. Of course.
Yes, he's got FU money. He had FU money a long time ago.
Yeah.
And
He actually talks about it quite openly. Back in the days he was hosting Fear Factor, he used to talk about just flying his friends out and they'd just go and do shit together. He'd fly them out on the road. He'd always pay for the hotels and shit. He was just always... once he was on that show, he used to talk about how fucking ridiculous it was. And he used to get on the show every episode and just wonder, is this the episode that's going to get me cancelled? Is this it? Is it all over now? And he didn't care because he already had everything. And fucking how long ago was Fear Factor? Fucking hell, let's look it up, It was quite a long time ago. So, god damn. 2001. 19 years ago. Hasn't given a fucking 19 years. I mean, come on. Yeah. You've now given this guy $100 million? Like, yeah, he's not going to be fucking influenced by that at all. At all.
The other thing about it's a bit weird being friends with a dude like that. It just is. Because, like, you call him up, or he'll call you up, and he's like, what's going on in your life? I don't know. Kind of depressed. Trying to get some math done. What are you up?
Sorry, I'm just imagining the smartest person in the world right now. He's on the street corner begging for fucking meth. Like fucking Eric's on the street. Hey man, you got some meth? Oh my god. It's never happening. Never happening. But what he's going to say is Joe's going to fucking pick him up, which he definitely seems that way. You fucking listen to any Joe Rogan podcast, it's exactly what it fucking is.
Dude, I can cheer you up. I just came off of a 29,000 person stadium. It's like, oh, cool. How'd you do that? Oh, I don't know. I just announced it on Instagram a few days ago and it filled up. It's like, oh, damn.
Yeah.
I mean, that thing
so
is
much
powerful.
love in
That
that
thing
guy.
is so powerful.
Yeah. So there you go. I mean, you could be that too.
The instant
We could
Joe
be that
takes
too.
an interest in politics and saving the
You
world,
might destroy all that.
it's going bye-bye. I promise.
I just disagree with you. Because you have to do it. Like you've
I'll
said
see
this many times before.
I'll bet you
Yeah.
a bottle of Stoli that you can get. You get Joe Rogan to get highly politically active and call out the system for all the bullshit that it is in a very pointed and determined fashion. And he doesn't get destroyed. I'll give you the vodka. Vodka? Yeah.
That sounds like a pretty damn good deal. So,
Yeah.
but you've said this. I mean,
No living heroes, my friend.
Yeah, unfortunately that's true. Yeah.
No living heroes.
It's just difficult. You just have to be good at it. I mean, if you just say generic political things,
No.
you're going to be taken down. But
The
if
more
you're
heroic you are,
honest with it,
the more beautiful you are, the more you will be made to suffer. And if they cannot get you on reputation, if Jesus himself came down, I don't know if I ever read, I probably have never read to you the hit piece I did on Jesus. You don't know about this?
No, I did not know.
I did hit pieces on all of the best people in the world.
Wow.
So whoever it was who cured cancer, or, discovered new particles, or whatever it is, I did a hit piece against them to prove that I can do it to anybody around anything at any time.
Except Eddie Van Halen is what we're talking about.
Well, Eddie Van Halen is now dead, but if this was a situation, Hot for Teacher,
Yeah.
canceled,
Disrespectful.
absolutely. Also, packaging female objectification for young men. Clearly, Eddie Van Halen is one of the worst people alive.
But
Was.
the skill, the incredible inspiration that is just radiating from his music inspires so many millions that they will fight those cancel pieces. They will fight
So
those.
this is your thing.
Yeah.
You have this idea that there's a war between good and evil, and the
Yeah.
good has already been designated the winner. And
Yeah.
It's not true. But your belief in that
Yeah.
it's true.
Fake
is
it
so
till you
critical.
make it. No, I mean you gotta
It's motivating both of us. Like, I also believe that we're going to win, because if I don't, then I can't get out of bed. It's pretty heavy at the moment.
Do you think 2021 could?
This conversation has gotten a bit more full on than I was first anticipating when I started this. I have watched it, but I didn't. I don't remember how heavy it gets here. It's quite full on, and they talk about quite some serious stuff. So, yeah, just be prepared moving forward. Not as many laughs now moving forward.
Good about the trajectory of society.
I
So
don't-
like where we emerge from this year, feeling good. Like there's a smile on Eric Weinstein's face, and the next time we talk, we'll be doing some kind of duet on guitar, and not having this worried look on our faces.
No.
Okay, but you've also promised that
You-
you're going to somehow end this in a positive. So okay. So how do you turn the no around? What's the U-turn from the no?
No, until we get some actually decent people in the right chairs who are not constantly thinking about their next paycheck, I don't see a solution. Let me just say what the prerequisites for a solution are, and to let you know why I don't think it's coming. First of all, both of these political parties, the leadership of them is disgusting and has to go. They're tearing us apart. They
that is true.
lack the will to be Americans. They don't.
I got into an argument the other day with one of my exes about this, and it's like, because she's living in America right now, and she seems to think that I'm fucking pro-Trump or some bullshit, and I keep making the point to her, both of the options are pieces of shit. Like, both sides that are running right now are garbage. Literally, both sides. Neither side is fucking good. And neither of them is someone the world is looking to and thinking that guy or that person is going to take us to the next level. We're going to achieve this thing with this person. It's just, we don't have that anymore. And the options that are being presented right now are just so shit. It's fucking ridiculous. I'm so glad I'm not fucking living in America right now. But unfortunately, I'm still living on fucking Earth, where we still have to deal with the fucking consequences of these fucking losers running. And it's shit. It's bullcrap. It's so fucked up. So fucked up. I wish there was someone good that was running. What the fuck happened to Yang? Fuck. What happened to Yang? Yang, you better fucking run again, man. Don't fucking give up this time. When the DNC fucking kicks you out, tell them to go fuck themselves and start your own party. You're fucking Yang. You're President Yang. You can change the fucking world, man.
Understand the subtlety of the project. They're simply the people who figured out how to inhabit the seats, and that is their great achievement.
Yeah, that's right.
I believe that in order to solve this, you need people who can integrate, who are not partisan at the level of the partisan warriors that we're seeing. People who believe in dividing the pies of the future rather than the present pie as our main task as Americans, because we are built around growth. I'm sorry to say it. You need an ability to have subtle conversations, and you need the ability to exclude. And you know, at the moment, everyone knows that inclusion is good, which it isn't. It's like saying, well, water is good. If I say water is good, everybody will agree with me. It's not. People drown. People need to, get dehydrated. It can be life-saving or life-ending. It isn't good or bad. Inclusion is not good or bad. Inclusion is just inclusion. Exclusion is part of inclusion. We've taught people that they can reason through the world as cocker spaniels. They just bark things at each other. I'm for safety. I'm for inclusion. I'm for growth. Oh, really? Do you guys use verbs? Dependent clauses? Are there compound complex sentences? Where are we in this sea of nonsense? You have to be able to build a place where you have smart, talented people who represent a diverse group of correct opinions. You need to get rid of almost all of the people who have opinions that are antithetical to what we're trying to accomplish. You need to give them insulation which we're terrified because we don't trust anybody. So everything has to be transparent. If you're going to the bathroom, I want those walls to be plexiglass so I can see what you're doing. It's like, that's too much transparency. We have too much and not enough at the same time. And then, in essence, you need to ensure that people aren't worried about feeding their family every 4 seconds for being real. None of that is happening. And our billionaires are pathetic. What is the point of billionaires if you're not going to do billionaire type cool stuff like saying F you, and I'm going to throw, $3 billion at the project of restoring the national conversation? I don't grasp this. What is the point of creating obscene wealth if we don't have anyone smart enough and caring enough to use it?
So I agree with that last part for sure. Let me slightly push back on the idea that the leaders themselves are broken. I feel like this goes to the Joe Rogan, Joe Biden and Trump having a debate on that program.
Fuck, that would have been awesome.
Joe Biden has a lot of really interesting ideas that he's almost forgot how to communicate. He's been fake for so long within the system.
Hillary was fake for too long. I'm sure she had real ideas at the beginning that she still was campaigning on decades later.
But like, if the system, if the platforms empowered you to search, to be honest, to be real, to search for those ideas within yourself, like long form conversations do, then even the Donald Trump and Joe Biden leaders we have now would take this country to a better place. That would unite people. So like, we can keep the current Congress. We just need to create better platforms. This is going to the intuition that there's good in Donald Trump. There is depth and complexity
there is good in
and
Donald
intelligence.
Trump. There is.
And the same with Joe Biden.
There's good in Joe Biden.
And it's just, we're not incentivizing. I mean, there's several things I think are broken. One of them is Twitter. The other is journalism. It's just the platforms of us communicating with each other.
One of the reasons that I try to come up with unifying explanations is that, if you look at the number of wildfires in California, let's say, if you treat them all as spontaneous, uncorrelated instances, it feels like, oh my God, it's just whack-a-mole. Every time I send a fire truck here, there's a fire over there. So you want to come up with something like a central theory, which is, why do I suddenly have a problem when I hadn't had a problem before? So I look for these unifying explanations. And I found one the other day that really speaks to me. People are very frustrated because they've been trained to think about this incorrectly, in my opinion. But here's the graph that you need to look at. On the x-axis is time by year. And on the y-axis is something like average age of a human. The title of the graph is Any Desirable Situation Involving Institutions. So that could be CEO, it could be tenured professor, it could be who's getting grants, it could be the age at which people win Nobel Prizes, university presidents. All these things go up. In other words, for a long period of time, the average age of the person in a desirable situation has been increasing something like 9 months for every 12.
Wow.
Those graphs have to go down at some point. The specter of
Brilliantly put.
of having 5 people, all born in the 1940s, as the final entrance in the presidential context. That makes no sense. Think about how bizarre a thing that nobody's even really talking about. The last 5 people were all ancient by presidential standards. Not 1, not 2, but 5. We are talking about a contest between somebody who is the oldest of the baby boomers, the very beginning of the baby boom, summer of 40.
Just to add even more on top of that, the older population is not the largest percent of the population anymore. The new generation, my generation and below, outnumber all of the old timers, without a fucking doubt. So if we wanted, we could be putting a younger person in because we would have the majority of the votes. Which is interesting why, even with that, it's still the older people getting in. It's very strange that. I don't have an answer for why that would be. I don't know why that would be. Because the young people are always the largest part of the population, which means the youngest people would be essentially choosing who the new leader would be. That's a very good point. I'm going to have to look into that as to why that is. I actually don't know the answer to that. That's very curious.
Fighting somebody who is in the silent generation. The silent generation guy at a town hall in Florida gets this question from a Gen Z guy saying, what's going on with my future? Joe Biden has the audacity to say, I'm a transitional president. You guys are the highly educated. When has any generation in history needed a transitional 78-year-old person to take office? It's bizarre. It's preposterous. That graph is the graph we can't talk about. That graph is the graph of our destruction. Because it has you can make a one-line argument, which sounds like ageism, which isn't a very good argument.
No.
But what it does is it muddles the conversation. And you always have to ask yourself the question, if this conversation becomes muddled, who wins as a result of the muddling?
Well, it's a battle, but let's just win it. Let's win the battle.
Are you running?
Sure, I'll run. I was born in Russia. You can't run. So, but we Russians can hack elections, so we'll figure it out.
I was born in St. Petersburg, Florida. Yeah. Lex, what is it that you really want to
Could always fake your birth certificate, Lex. It's been done before.
I think I want to put some responsibility on the portal. The portal.
The portal is Eric Weinstein's podcast, in case anyone's not aware.
That the portal gives power to the people in that graph. Like, because you put it quite brilliantly, that the people that move the world, their age has been going up. And not move the world, but put in the position where they get the chance to affect the world. These new platforms, I think Twitter falls in them, give power to the younger people. It doesn't have to be about age necessarily, but the younger thinking people. So that's a promising thing. And you are like you're like Gandalf.
But that's why I was going down the thought pattern I was going down before, because we have all that technology. The younger people, not the older people. So why are we still voting for the older people? It doesn't make sense. Because we have Twitter, we have YouTube, we have instant worldwide communication. Lex didn't argue the point then. In fact, he made the point worse. Because there's no fucking answer. I want to know the fucking answer. I'm gonna have to think about it and then come back and make another episode on it. Because that shouldn't be the case. That shouldn't be the case. Yeah, the younger people should be the ones in charge because there's more of us voting. So it doesn't make any sense that there would be the old people still in. Especially when they're fucking shit ideas. And they're not actually fucking going for anything. Unless the young people just aren't voting. That's possible. Because the young people just believe the system is broken, they're not voting. That could be a possibility. That's a very strong held belief. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. I'll have to come back because I don't know. I'm just fucking running ideas as I'm thinking right now. Just thinking out loud. But I don't... That does make sense. I'll have to come back to it though.
You get to pick your Frodos or whatever. I'm not very good with the analogy, but the whole point is for you as Gandalf.
I don't know that I make that much sense. Gandalf makes sense. I don't know if people know how to fit me into this ecosystem. I think there's something in my presentation that people find very confusing.
No, figure it out. I'm not.
Because he's Jewish.
But you need to look in the mirror and think like, what is it? Is it maybe you need a mustache?
Nah, it's his bluntness. It's that Eric. He's not nice. He's just honest. and he doesn't really care if it offends anyone. He'll just say it, and then, but he's not saying it with any mean intent behind it. He's just pointing out observations that he has that are right, but he's not doing it in a well presented way where it makes everybody accepting and everybody feel nice. He doesn't care about that. He kind of feels like it's a waste of energy, and I think that's why he's not making it as big of impact as he should. But he's right, and this is why one of the reasons I watch him is because I actually like those aspects of people. Is when they don't try to be nice. They just tell the truth, and if the truth hurts you or offends you in some way, it's like, well, fuck those people off. Like, who cares about those people? That's one of the things I actually admire about Eric, but I can definitely see that the majority of people do not like that. They do not like that. They like being talked to nicely, which makes sense. Like, I get it. It makes sense.
I don't know. But there's something about figuring out how to be a charismatic communicator in this, and that's the responsibility. You said like finishing sentences with the LOL is painful for your soul.
Yeah. Just when somebody lets me know I don't have to take their opinion seriously.
I do that all the time.
Communicating. You're swimming that wave. You have a big platform. I have a growing platform. It feels like this is the place to give power.
I agree. But we're gonna get swatted down.
I just don't think so.
You're wrong.
Why are you afraid?
Because I've studied it.
Yes.
Because I've studied. Let me ask you a question, Lex. I believe that every society is supposed to have a collection of what I call break glass in case of emergency people.
Yeah.
Mm.
These are people
Valid.
who are universally loved and trusted by your society. For example, David Attenborough, the great British naturalist and presenter, recently came on Instagram. He's worried about the planet. And I said, look, there are very few of these people left. Let's pay attention, find out what he has to say. Maybe he's going to be an ass. Maybe he's going to be an idiot. Maybe he's going to say wrong things. Don't know. Tell me about your top 10 universal American heroes.
Oh, there's lots. I mean, goddamn. Like, heroes all around, there's fucking heaps, man. I'm blanking on all their names right now, but there's fucking heaps. You got Neil deGrasse Tyson, he's a fucking legend. Jim Gates, he's a fucking legend. There's lots of people. Joe Rogan's definitely fucking one. And goddamn. There's so many fucking people that are impressive right now. I mean, give me 5 minutes to write up a list, I'll have a fucking list for you. I'd like to hear Lex's list, actually. Let's keep listening.
Rhetorical question.
No. Give me 5. Everybody looks to that person and says, yep, the best of us. I
Oh, not
follow that
divisive.
person.
Well, everybody's an interesting concept. I mean, Elon Musk is very
Yeah.
divisive,
So
right?
Yeah.
I'm talking about overwhelmingly people would follow that person.
Yeah, Elon
That
for
person
sure.
Gave a rousing, intelligent speech that said we
Buzz
need to
Aldrin?
act now because we're in.
Buzz Aldrin's got a lot of followers. Everyone loves that guy.
I think a lot of people fall in that category. For me, it would be
David Goggins.
in the tech world, in the engineering
No.
world. Elon
Tell me
Musk.
names.
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk.
Mm-hmm.
The Rock.
No.
I'm thinking like, who is the most eloquent actor? So like, you think celebrities, so people with
I didn't
platforms.
say celebrity. They
No,
have to
but-
be well known.
I believe like yeah. So this goes to Joe Rogan.
First two did not really.
Bourdain, I would have put down.
Okay.
Bourdain would definitely be on there if he was still alive.
Elon several years ago would have.
Can you try to?
Joe Rogan has.
Why do they fail? Why is
Lots
Elon
of people
fail on
treat
this?
Joe Rogan as if he's some sort of right-wing racist because they've
He's
never
not.
watched his program. They don't know who his friends are. I don't know.
Oh, but when I thought you said everybody, I thought you meant a large enough people where huge change can happen, not actually literally everybody. Because I think
mean people who people who've pulled off something where everybody's convinced that that person just deeply.
Elon, for sure.
I mean, I think I've told you the story before.
Neil deGrasse, yeah, without a
The
doubt.
one time I've seen the power of a figure like this. I mean, very few times I've been in a large crowd and I've seen people just moved where they would do almost anything good, bad, and different because they were primed. One was a Rolling Stones concert. The other one was Nelson Mandela.
Yeah, Matt Taibbi. Matt Taibbi could.
And man, you've never seen anything like this. Check out the photos from the banks of the Charles River when Nelson Mandela came.
I see what he's saying. I see what his point is.
People that you
Yeah.
need in your dark hours, and we can't agree on who they are. And as soon as they emerge, we tar them with shit. We get out the shit brush.
I just disagree with you. So I think.
Nah,
What do we
he's
disagree
right.
on?
Okay. I think no matter who it is, I think really good speeches are needed. And
Great.
I think a
Who's
lot.
gonna give? I saw Killer Mike try to give a good speech.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he's a fucking racist though.
Right?
Yeah, he did.
That was something.
No.
Very impressed.
Yeah.
Even Killer Mike immediately gets into this. Sell out. Or like.
Yeah, but he didn't take up the responsibility. I would say
He didn't.
of going bigger. So he was speaking to the community, and
He was doing what he
on
was
this
doing.
particular moment. He's exceptional at it, and he was speaking to this particular moment. He didn't take it a step farther, which is like giving the same speech but bigger than race.
Yeah.
Than
He's too race focused at the moment. I'm not saying he's going to stay like that, but right now he's still very much race orientated. That's the only reason I wouldn't put Killer Mike on that list. I mean, yeah, that's why I wouldn't put him on the list, but I would put Neil deGrasse on the list because Neil doesn't. I wouldn't say he doesn't give a fuck, but he doesn't put any race above any other race. There's no importance to your race. It's just everyone should get this level of care. Everyone should be treated this way. There's no discrimination based on race. Whereas Killer Mike, I don't know why Eric would have used him as an example, because you listen to any of his speeches, it's just black people power, black people power. It's like everybody power, everybody power. There's no fucking race needs more power. It's a stupid fucking concept. Everybody needs fucking to be treated well and well looked after. There's no point putting people into groups. It doesn't fucking work in the long run. It may work short term, but long term it doesn't fucking work.
this particular moment, but more about the American.
Mike Tyson. A lot of people like Mike Tyson. A lot of people.
Project.
You know the guy who landed the plane in the Hudson?
Yes.
Sully.
Yeah, there you go. That's a good example. Sully.
That guy, until we screw him up, is the kind of thing that I'm talking about.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, Jocko, maybe. That's
Yeah, Jocko.
Jocko's pretty good.
Yep. Jocko for sure.
Jocko is pretty good. Can't really tell. Is he a Democrat? Is he a Republican? I don't know. He's an American, that's for damn sure.
Yeah.
That's the way it should be. That's the way it should be when you
And-
can't
and
fucking
then-
tell.
No, I think Jocko, there aren't. That's one of the reasons why Jocko's so
special.
important.
Yeah.
Mm.
Your podcast, The Portal, is something in my little universe, is something a lot of people really love. And
I think I might end it there, everyone. That was fucking great. I hope you all enjoyed. It was a good one. I enjoyed putting that together. I'm glad I didn't fucking fail again, although I did fail the first time, I guess, with no sound. Don't know what happened there. I'm sorry, Claire. Thanks for tuning in both times, though. That was pretty fucking awesome. Again, hopefully I'm making episodes and making you guys think. Like, this stuff's pretty fucking cool. And again, I think we need to appreciate the fucking balls it takes for Eric to fucking openly talk about this stuff. Because he is a very high, impactful person right now. Very influential. And he is coming out, risking his own fucking life, talking about this stuff with seriousness behind it as well. There's a lot going on here. And to fucking go out like that, very fucking impressive. Very impressive. Takes real, honest guts to do. And Eric's not getting anything out of that. That's another thing. A lot of people come out and they'll say this stuff as it's going to reward them somehow. Eric is not doing that at all. He stands to benefit from this in no fucking way. So, yeah. Hope you guys all enjoyed. We'll be back on Wednesday with a brand new episode. All right.